Hi. So I'm sitting here in Seattle, where I live, and I decided that today was the day to do some tapping for stress and fears around the coronavirus because we seem to be considered to be the epicenter in the United States, whether that's true or not. It's in the news a lot, papers, uh, and it's. It seems like we're all stressed out beyond where is useful. I'm not going to say it's bad to have any stress ever. We couldn't live our lives without it. And I've read somewhere you got to have some stress, or our systems aren't prepared to have no stress at all. And some stresses are good stresses too. But particularly to the coronavirus, why would you want to have any stress at all? Well, it's good if it pushes you to do things like wash your hands more often, wash them for that whole full 20 seconds, right? Because that will bring down, if everyone's doing that, we're going to have less spread of the disease and it'll be slower. That would be good. It's good if it pushes you to take certain actions. Like my family and I did a little bit of, we're calling it hoarding, stocking up on essentials, so that if it ends up that we do need to have some form of quarantine, which could happen, we'll have what we need, and we won't have to break quarantine to survive or anything like that. And if we choose to step back and do fewer things out in the world, even if we're not quarantined, we can do that pretty easily. So those would be reasons where stress would be useful, and that's okay. That's great. But you don't want to live in a stress state all the time. It doesn't feel good, for one thing, and too long a state of being stressed out can actually put some wear and tear on your body, which is no good. There's the stories about there. If you're stressed, you lower your resistance, and then you're gonna catch the virus, and you're gonna die. I'm not going there. I don't think so. I think, as I say, we're all designed to have some stress. It's okay to have some stress, but it's we don't need to live in it and keep it as high as it's been. So the first thing I'll say is something I say whenever the news gets really dire. And that happens a lot because, as the saying goes, if it bleeds, it leads. And newspapers used to get sold, and news programs would be watched because they were talking about big, scary stuff, whether it was relevant to us or not. If something happened halfway around the world, but it was big and scary, we'd hear about it, and then we'd get distressed by it. Even if it happened a couple of states away, one of the things we often do is get caught up in watching that news over and Googling it and reading about it over and over and over again. And so what I will often do is encourage people who are getting extremely stressed to turn off the news. Just stop already. Now, in this situation, I don't encourage you to completely turn it off. We need to have some information to know where you stand, what you need, what's going on in the world. I mean, I'm having events in my daughter's school, in my business owners groups that I belong to. They're getting canceled right, left, and center. I need to know that. And I need to also be aware that, that's how we found out we needed to do a little bit of stocking up. So I'm not saying don't read the news at all, but limit it, back off a bit. You don't need to be on it all the time. I think once a day is probably enough, maybe twice. Hey, Sierra, good to see you. And wherever you are in the world, I know that this is something that most everyone's following because it is, I think they're calling it a pandemic. It's certainly an epidemic, and it can spread, and we need to take actions. So do pay attention, but don't bathe in it. Don't be reading about it all the time and researching things and watching videos about it all the time. You don't need to do that. So that's the first thing. Back away from the news on this one. So the second thing is that you probably want to, if that's not enough to bring your stress levels down, you want to take some action. So for some people, the way they relieve stress is to exercise. Others, it's call your mom on the phone. There's some research that shows that actually helps, only if it's the right mom, mind you. But if calling your mom makes you feel a little bit better, sure, go ahead and do that, or call a friend. Or if it helps you to, I don't know, binge watch a TV show. Actually, I'm not a real fan of that, but what helps you to relieve your stress, bubble baths or having sex or whatever, okay? Do what you can to lower your stress. But if that's not enough, if you still feel kind of revved up and know where to go with it, tapping is really great for relieving stress. It's like sort of the first place to go for stress in my book. It's also one of the first things I will teach people to use tapping for, because it's right there on the surface. You don't have to go diving for the causes of it, like I have to do like my money group. We got to go find out where this stuff comes from and to let it go so that they're not having their money problems. For all the other kinds of procrastination, to get rid of it completely, you got to go dive down and figure out what it is. But for just plain old stress, we can stay on the surface. Hey, Marcia, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so this is a great time to use tapping if you're finding yourself really stressed out about the news about COVID-19. So, by the way, one more way that I find is really useful for stress is a little bit of humor. And so I'm going to share with you that this week is a big week for stress because, and I'm sharing from Cheryl Marks Young's Facebook post, this week includes a time change, a full moon, and Friday the 13th. And it says, and we'll be doing it all without toilet paper and hand sanitizer. May the force be with us. So there you go, a little humor for you. I like that very much. And yes, it was really hard to find toilet paper and hand sanitizer in Seattle these days. So anyway, but how can you use the tapping? Back to the real reason here, I'm here. How can you use the tapping for the stress on the coronavirus? Well, I'm thinking of a couple of different ways you might want to try out. If you're extremely stressed out about it, I don't want you to do really focusing on all the reasons to be stressed out, because they'll feel real to you, okay? I would start with just what you're feeling in your body. So if this is you, and even if it's not, you can use this one. Anyone can use this one. Just check in your body if you're feeling a little tension in the right shoulder, or your stomach is a little tight, or has butterflies, or maybe you're getting a little bit of a headache right over your temple. Wherever you're feeling it in your body, you want to tap and focus on it. So why don't you tap along with me? You're tapping about as hard as if you were drumming your fingers on a tabletop. So tap along with me and repeat it after me, what I say, and I'll give you an example of this, and feel free to change the words to fit where in your body it's happening. And you'll notice I'm going to start in one place, but as it changes, I'll move to a different place, okay? So that's something you can do too. So even though I'm feeling all this stress in my stomach, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I've got stress in my stomach, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though there is stress in my stomach, I deeply and completely accept myself. This tightness in my stomach, it feels like a clenched fist in my stomach. This blue tightness in my stomach. Some people see physical sensations in colors. If that's you, go ahead and put the color in. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit of a headache right here in my temple. What's that all about? This temple stress. This tightness in my right and left shoulders. All this tightness from the stress. All this stress. Okay, you see what I did there? Hey, Kathy and Michelle, glad you could join me. So what you do with this thing is you don't go for the reasons for the stress. You just go for where they show up in your body. Some people aren't really tuned into what they're feeling physically. So in that case, you might just say stress and just stay on the surface with that. But the chasing, it's called chasing the pain. tapping and focusing on where you feel it in your body, even if it's not pain, it might be tension, tightness, flutter, just if it's a sensation somewhere in your body, just tap and notice it. Okay, this flutter in my left eyebrow, and then chase it around. And now I'm noticing something in my right knee. And you just tap while acknowledging where it is in your body and following it around and tapping. And that is actually going to be releasing the stress. Okay. And that is, I think, a very safe way to release stress, whether or not it's big stress, overwhelming. If it is overwhelming, I would definitely start there. Better yet, find somebody who knows how to tap and have them guide you through it, and that they can keep the lid on, keep you in a managed place so you don't get overwhelmed by it. Now, for some people, that's not enough. They want to be focused and tapping on what is the thoughts and the feelings, because that's getting them wound up. And that can be a really good way to tap too, to release stress. You can do just plain, I have this stress, it's okay, I'm stressed, the stress. You can do it that way. But if that doesn't get you anywhere, you're going to probably want to do a little free association there. Just whatever comes to mind, let it out. So that's what I'm going to do next. Go along and tap with me, unless you're getting overwhelmed by this, at which point just drop back into your body, tapping on the sensations, or just playing the stress. If it's too much, turn off this video. Don't go there if it's too much. But my expectation is this will be a way to release it, and for most people. Okay, so let's just try it, and I'll just say what comes to my mind here in the middle of Seattle. I'm kind of in the middle of all the stuff. So repeat after me. Even though I'm feeling so much stress about this virus, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm really stressed out about what's going on, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm stressed out about this virus going around, deeply and completely accept myself. All this stress about COVID-19. It's in the news. I can't get away from it. And it's scary. What if I get sick? What if my family gets sick? What if somebody in my family dies from it? It's so scary. And what about all the closures happening? All these things I was going to do are getting closed down. Schools are closing down. My daughter's choir concert got canceled. Girl Scouts is happening virtually tonight. If they're doing that, it must be really bad. Well, maybe it's just an abundance of caution. Yeah, but it's in the news everywhere. Well, the news is focusing on it. It's because that's what they do. But the stock market is tanking because of it. It's going to be a big recession. Maybe it'll be another depression. I'm really worried about that. Of course, we do have some additional tools that we didn't have back in the 20s. The 1920s. So maybe I don't have to worry so much. What if it affects my job? What if I can't get clients for my business? Because everyone is losing money on the stock market. Because people are losing jobs, because People are staying home. I'm really stressed about this. And it's okay to be stressed. But I'm still here. I'm okay. Got a roof over my head. Got food to eat. Got my loved ones around me. I even have toilet paper because I stocked up. So yes, I'm stressed. But if I have any excess stress, I can let it go. I'll let go of my excess stress. Releasing the excess stress. And as a little bonus point, the center of your forehead tends to be a place for trauma. So if you're feeling this is traumatic, go ahead and tap in the middle of your forehead, okay? And always breathe. Because breathing is number one way of dropping stress and changing stress, fear into excitement. Mind you, I don't expect people to be excited about what's going on, but also if you're breathing really shallowly up high, or very very brief or fast, that's going to raise your stress rates and your fear. If you breathe down deep and especially you let that breath out nice and slowly, like you're cooling soup. Okay, blowing on soup to cool it off. That actually relaxes your body. Your body can't be both stressed out, tense, and relaxed at the same time. Just can't do it. So do the physical to relax your body. Okay, I just threw a lot of things at you to help you deal with the stress that's going on right now. I'm going to go back for a little bit of humor now. I hope it was helpful. Go find the ways that work for you. And if you want to, I'll save this video. If you want to play it and tap along with it some more, go ahead, by all means. If you want to just tap on what's coming to your mind, go ahead and do that. That's going to be more powerful anyway, okay? Again, I hope this is helpful. I hope to have a more pleasant topic to discuss next Monday, but this was necessary. It's important, I think. So hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next Monday. Happy tapping. Bye-bye.